All right, everybody, welcome to episode 1 of the Final Boss podcast. I am your host. I am Dan, and joining me through Skype from an undisclosed location is my co-host and my buddy, Mr. Elias. Mr. Elias, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
So, episode 1, you nervous, Elias?
Yeah, a little bit. We've been talking about this for a long time, so.
I know, it's fun. And you sound actually clear, so don't worry about it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we have been talking about this for a long time, almost like 5 or 6 years, I figure.
Yeah, probably. In its faintest origins, probably more than that, but
What is your goal with this whole project?
I just want to be able to just continue my ambition of playing more games and actually getting games done.
Yeah. Well, we always talk about how it's fucking annoying that you know, none of the big websites that are out there, which we obviously can't name, but you know what I'm talking about.
We can name them, but we'll leave that for
They
another
just
episode.
they just don't seem to be truthful with their reviews or opinions of things. Everything seems to get a great review, and you have to figure that big companies, like big game companies, will pay them off under the table to sort of make you know I say over you know give them more of a positive feedback than what they really deserve. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of true to a certain degree.
Yeah, I don't think it's like government.
Well, we often disagree about certain said website on some occasions on some of the reviews. But yeah, generally I feel like most of the major media outlets are pretty much sweetening the deal with all the reviews. How many times have you bought a game to just be completely let down? So I mean, I guess that would be one of my other goals for this podcast, would just to stay connected and just talk, obviously with my buddies, and just let the truth out about what's going on with the games.
Yeah, well, I personally don't use said website very often, but when I do, I don't seem to agree with anything they have to say, whether it be for games, movies, anything like that. So I guess part of this, what we originally discussed is, we always end up with, funny and conversations, but I think we have pretty good opinions and on certain things that need to be shared with the world.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, I mean, me personally, I don't play, a huge variety of genres. I'm a little more picky, but, I think with everybody that we hopefully have involved, we'll have a nice eclectic mix of opinions and things of that nature.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, yeah, you don't really play that many diverse genres and games, but still, even being said, I used to play a whole lot of genres, and as we're all getting older and older, it's just less time with work and everything to continue just playing all these different games. I mean, there's just so many countless games out right now, and has been out for the last, I would say, probably about the last 4 or 5 years, especially with the way Steam's blown up, and even these like iOS games and all this other stuff that's happening, which I'm not really a big fan of any of the handheld games, not even since the Game Boy days.
No, I can't even be bothered with the iOS games anymore.
Yeah,
I have like 5. I have let's see, 12 games on my phone that I don't even touch. I play like one maybe every 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, and not to go off too much on a tangent, but I just could never get into handhelds. So even since the DS, the Game Boy, all those types of handhelds, I just never, PS Vita, all that crap, I just couldn't get into it. For me, it was just, if you're gonna really game, you're either gaming on PC or you were gaming on console, just for the comforts of being on the couch.
But well, that's my whole thing. I don't really like PC games that much, but
yeah, well,
I don't know. I feel like handhelds are probably more for kids. And that maybe sound,
I think there'd be a lot of people out there that probably be cursing your name right now, but
probably.
But
I don't care.
yeah, I would say, I mean, there's definitely a different level of, you know, a different level of feel in terms of ergonomics and just your level of attachment. I mean, when I pick up a handheld, I just think of it as, like you said, a kid's toy. Where when I'm picking up a console or a PC, it's more of like an adult entertainment system. So.
Well, I feel like what may change that is what they're doing now with Sony and the Vita. How you can pick up where you left off on a game that you were playing on your PS4 and continue it from the save right on the Vita. That's kind of cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean that kind of piqued my interest, especially all that the PS4 and what it has to offer now with the what's that new thing they're coming out with or have come out with, the PS TV and being able to stream and stuff. So they're definitely doing some unique things out there that are gonna make that PS Vita definitely more interesting for me to want to maybe pick up in the future. But I'm just not sold yet. I'm obviously a hardcore PC guy. I've been a PC guy for a long time. Built PCs and everything. So, and the community on the PC is just unbelievable. So, I mean, there's often that time where you question yourself, and I think I've posed that to you many times about, do you buy a game on any of the consoles? And usually the debate will be, well, which console to get it on? And your answer is mostly, which group of your friends has it on which console. But
yeah, for sure.
But for many times it's been for me, it's, do you buy the game for a console or do you get it on PC? And almost always the game is better played on PC.
Yeah, I don't think PC will ever be my first choice, though. That's just not my personality. I generally don't really like sitting in front of my computer playing games, unless I'm playing like Minecraft or something for like 15 hours straight.
Well, you might, yeah. I mean, Minecraft obviously is a home run, runaway success. But I mean, maybe with Steam, I mean, you might get it, this next couple of years. I mean, you've been playing.
Yeah, no, I've actually started recently warming up more to the fact of playing on PC. I don't think I could ever play an FPS on a PC, and that's like, I know the ideal environment to play an FPS.
I think you could, though, especially with the Steam, their new thing where you can stream the what you have on your PC to the TV, and then be able to use a joystick and sit on the couch. So that and that's not even counting the whole Steam machines and all that other stuff that's coming out soon.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I bet I don't know. For me, I guess like Titanfall was the first FPS I ever played on a PC. I think on my own, and I was just like, it was a real big learning curve because I'm just not good with the mouse and keyboard. Still, I'm not like, I could dominate in Call of Duty on PS4 or Xbox, but on the PC, I think I'd get destroyed. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So so back to what we were originally saying. I think so. Our pretty much our goal here is to just use our experience in gaming, whether it be casual or more full time, but just allow to have some sort of honest opinions towards things and just give our examples and for whoever may have watched the start of my Minecraft video series, I started talking about that a little bit, but so we're just two of the I guess members of the group. Hopefully we have two others on board. We're still questionable on that, but we'll see what happens there. So as of right now, we're in 2014. We're heading into 2015 pretty soon, a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, you didn't tell our fans what the date is, Dan.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It is December 14th, 2014. That would have been appropriate, but thanks for reminding me.
That's all right. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, exactly. So we're a few weeks away from 2015. As of right now, where do you think we are as far as I guess gaming wise? Where are we?
I think we're gonna be in a really exciting time. I mean, I think we have been, especially since the last generation, and this one, a year old now, or a little more than a year, is finally taking off. We got some great games coming up.
Yeah, which kind of bothers me a little bit, to be honest with you.
What's that?
It's a year now that these consoles have come out, Xbox One and PS4, and now we're finally starting to see like the real deal next gen games starting to come out. And I just can't. I don't know. I feel kind of silly for buying one a year ago, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'd say you should be duped because I told you so. And
no, I know.
I mean, the first question I asked when they announced these consoles was, is it really time for these consoles to come out? And I think we all kind of agreed at the time that nobody really felt they needed to have a new console. And then, of course, you get wrapped up into the whole, well, I want the next new, biggest, best thing.
Yeah.
I know Xbox One, I bought it on day one, as you remember, and then checked it out. It was kind of cool. Some of the voice features were ill. Messed around with it for a little bit, but it was so I don't know, in its embryonic state and had nothing going for it in terms of games or features. They had so many
Yeah.
patches to add to it. It was kind of pointless. So I just packaged it up and sold it away again for just the same amount of money I bought it for. But I mean,
Yeah, that's actually my only experience with the Xbox One. I know one of my buddies actually has one, and he seems to love it. He doesn't have no, he does have a PS4 actually, but he spends most of his time on the one. Uh, and apparently, from what he says, they've made a lot of strides from when it was, from its
well,
infancy.
yeah, I
So
think they released a whole shitload of patches. So I mean, obviously now, even something as so simple as being able to find what you wanted to delete, they have that available. Which on day one you would imagine
yeah, that's crazy.
that in 2014 you'd be able to have that right away as a feature. So I mean, there's just so many things where I think these consoles were rushed.
Hmm.
In terms of the consoles versus PC discussion that's been going on for ages, anyone that thinks PC gaming is dead, you're out of your fucking mind. Um, again with Steam and all these other features that are going on, Origin now with EA and all that, PC gaming, just as a digital platform is going to just continue to enhance. And I think these consoles, as powerful as they are, in 2-3 years we'll probably be asking ourselves, why haven't we just upgraded our PCs and played some better games? Because the PC stuff is going to take off.
Well, here's the thing though. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you know more about PCs than I do. But I don't think you could build a better PC for $400 that would outperform the PS4.
Yeah, I mean, you might be right in the bare bones part aspect of just getting like the case and the monitor
Like I,
and the whole
like I'll tell you,
and the whole package. But if you were to consider like just like the tower and just building a PC and not adding a monitor and a keyboard and all the other stuff, I mean, you might be close nowadays. I don't.
that'll run with the same graphical power as
I'm.
a PS4 because PS4 looks very
I
impressive.
mean, maybe we could probably do that on another podcast and kind of do a comparison. I'll come up with some prices and see what that plays out as. But
Yeah, I think
if not
we should
if not today, that's what I mean though, and definitely like in a year or two, you might be able to. Um,
we should actually jot that down for a future show because I think that'd be interesting. I think people would like to kind of see that.
yeah, no, I'd be more than happy to do that. But in
But
regards to like the state of gaming and where we're at, aside from the consoles, I am really super pumped to see what the guys over at Oculus Rift are going to do.
yeah,
And
yeah, I think that's gonna be. I've been reading some like on some science websites and things about even just like scientists are using it for like experimentation and stuff, which is kind of interesting. From the little I know about it, it seems like there's a lot that can be done with it.
yeah, I mean, I've been dying to get one of the developer ones. I haven't invested in it yet. Just
Are they still like $400 though?
I think so. They definitely came out with a newer one that was more powerful, and I mean, everybody that keeps testing them and all the videos online that you see, I mean, you just hear nothing but great reviews, and not even just Oculus, but the guys over at Samsung are coming up with something for the phone that they're doing that's like Samsung Gear VR.
Right.
That Oculus is working with them together to share technology. And then you got Sony doing their own thing with, I think, what's that called? I believe it's Project Morpheus or something like that.
Yeah, I believe so.
So I mean, who doesn't want to have virtual reality? I mean, think back to our parents' generations. I mean, going back into like the 70s and 80s and thinking Star Wars and all that other stuff. I mean,
Well, what's funny is I was actually playing NHL the other day, and my dad happened to come in, and he was just like, he thought I was watching a real game.
yeah, I mean that stuff
So that's pretty
that stuff
funny.
happens all the time. So
Yeah.
I think the day of gaming being the typical overweight male who's pissed off and's got anger issues and just plays games is like long been dead for years
Well,
now.
yeah. I mean, back in the day, it would have like a weird stigma about it. They'd think it was like either like some nerdy kid who's like just cut off from the world playing video games, or like you know, some introverted like 30-something-year-old living with his mom still. The term "mom's basement" is always a big one for people. But I think since largely in part to a game that we'll talk about a little bit later. One game in particular, I think, sort of gave the industry a huge push forward as far as popularity and less of a stigma. Being Call of Duty, I would say. I would say that game probably gets the sole reward for that. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, maybe you don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to follow what you're saying actually. So you're saying that Call of Duty propelled the industry forward in terms of popularity?
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, I like we said earlier, I'm not like a huge like I don't play every single thing to come out, but I know that for me, Call of Duty 4 was like my first introduction to like competitive like multiplayer gaming. Before that, I was just sticking to like single player games and things like that. But when Call of Duty 4 came out for Xbox, I was like all over that game. You remember I played that game constantly. There was never a time I wasn't playing Call of Duty. And Gears of War too. Gears of War is another one. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I
Gears
mean,
of War.
but not to cut you off, but I'd say those are more mainstream games that came really later and owe a lot of their competitive.
No, they did definitely, but I'm saying the popularity of the industry, people, I feel like before those games, people would say, "Oh, you play video games." Like I said, you're either a nerd or you're a loser or you're this, you're that. Maybe not that harsh, but now when you talk to somebody, it's like, "Oh, what did you do on Friday?" "Oh, nothing. I just played Call of Duty for like 5 hours." People are just like, "Oh, all right." It's just like a normal thing now. You know what I mean? And I don't think that was possible before Gears of War and Call of Duty 4.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you there. I think maybe in terms of maybe the better way to phrase that would be towards the shooter crowd.
Maybe I don't know. I just know from
because I would say like games like more probably World of Warcraft or even like EverQuest before that.
Yeah, but look at people that play those games. You would immediately classify them as like,
Yeah, but yeah, no,
like like the South Park
no,
episode that had
I would agree with you there, but there's definitely plenty of publicity about all these crazy gun killing fanatics that play Call of Duty. I'm just saying that in terms of popularity and even like getting more women to play games, probably like more of an MMO atmosphere. And there's people that play WoW that get freaking married, man.
Yeah, that's true.
So and think about the subscriptions and the time, the years played in that game. And then there's other games out there that I think do the job too. That that just get a lot of people playing games. StarCraft's another huge game. Or any of the Blizzard games really are huge. But
yeah, I guess out of
and,
like my
and then in terms of competitive spirit, I'd say definitely Counter-Strike has been the golden game in terms of competitive shooters. I mean, that game, look at CSGO, it's still freaking popular. That game came out on Steam, and so many people still play that, and they've added so many features that have kept people playing. But,
yeah, that was one game. You guys were playing the crap out of that not too long ago.
Not too long ago.
I don't know. I was never really that into that game. I mean, I played it back in like junior high with one of my buddies, but it just wasn't something that I don't know. Like I said, it's a computer thing, and at the time I really wasn't that into it. I did play SOCOM on PS2 when they had that like external internet thing that you had to like plug into the back of the
Yeah, I remember those days.
PS2, and I used to play SOCOM. That game was kind of fun. But yeah, I don't know. I think right now we're obviously at a point where it's like super popularized. It's now in the mainstream. It's the normal thing to play games. You have conventions and award shows and things like that. So
I would say we're bigger than the gaming industry is now way bigger than Hollywood.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I mean, I think it is.
There's definitely games that have more of a production value than Hollywood movies, which is crazy.
I don't even mean production value. I mean sales. I think games sell way more than Hollywood does.
Think so?
As an industry, if not as an industry, there's definitely single games that outsell the best movies ever came out.
I'd imagine. I mean, you have Call of Duty. Let's go back to that because that was the one game that Call of Duty is like it dominates every year. But I read an interesting article today actually. That let me see if I can find it here. It actually sales for Call of Duty have fallen by about 22% compared to previous years, and actually I'm sorry, 27%. And going further into it, sales have decreased every year. So the most recent one, Advanced Warfare, has sold less than last year's Ghosts, and so on and so forth, which is kind of interesting because you think of Call of Duty, and it's sort of like a Titan game that comes out every single year, and people, rush out to get it, myself included. But what do you think that means? You think people are kind of just sick of Call of Duty now, or you think it's the game quality, or what? Because I have my own opinions on Call of Duty.
And Call of Duty is kind of hard for me because I remember the day that I had a PC, and I couldn't remember exactly what year it was, but we could probably find out when I actually had to, for the first time, buy a video card because my computer could not play this brand new game that I bought that was called Call of Duty. And it was the very first Call of Duty, and I think I bought some. I mean, I'm talking about the days when there was like Voodoo video cards, if anybody remembers the old Voodoo brand. And
yeah, you're talking like Chinese to me now.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're a little bit of a noob in the hardware side, but I'm just saying that, like, this is back in the day. So obviously, I pick up the game, I try to play it on my computer, and all of a sudden it tells me that my video card does not support this game, and I had to upgrade. And that was exciting. I mean, it was a pain in the ass to have to go to the store and buy, a new piece of hardware just to play a game. But I mean, that's how good the game was. And I personally just like, and I think what took off for Call of Duty initially was just that way the game made you feel like you were part of the war.
Yeah,
and then the online kind of took off and became its own thing that has carried it to where it has. But in terms of what
Call of Duty 4 did that.
Yeah, that really just took it out the freaking, because I remember Call of Duty 2 and 3, the online kind of was very, very simple and was not anything like the new stuff that had come out after Call of Duty 4.
Now, you want to hear something funny? Is like I never even liked first-person shooters until Call of Duty 4. I used to think they like made me dizzy and like all kinds of nonsense. And Nick, he got Call of Duty 4 for Xbox 360 when it came out because he used to play the World War II one on PC, like I guess 1 or 2, I don't remember. And he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try that." I played it at his house, and I just like got so addicted to it. You remember how much I played Call of Duty 4? It was just like unreal.
Definitely. I mean, the game is addicting. Like I said, for me, I used to just buy even the ones after 4 just for the single player because they continued. And I'm sure just like the new one, I think you made some comments that it's pretty enthralling, like the campaign and everything. I mean,
it's all right. I mean, but
they put a lot of work into it, right? They got Kevin Spacey? Yeah, and it looks like it's really done well. And any game that I played the last couple of years, even that one that they had, which one was the game that they had that was in like the Pacific? That they had I
don't remember.
I think that was like World at War or something like that, whatever the hell.
Oh yeah, World at War was that was the one that came out after Call of Duty 4. That
right.
was more
and it was
Pacific.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember playing that game and like shooting off like blowtorches and like killing dudes in like trenches, and it was pretty cool, man. I mean, the game, I felt like I was in the jungles in the Pacific fighting,
Yeah.
in World War II. I mean,
I don't know.
The game does a good job, but I think the problem now is that with these AAA games is that things keep getting recycled. I mean, the gaming industry has so much to offer now that they got to start thinking outside the box and creating new IPs. And I think that, like, the best example I can give of Call of Duty for me is the same struggle that I go through every year when I have to buy this year's current sports game.
Yeah.
It's like I got to buy the same game with just a couple little tweaks year after year and spend a good hard-earned $65. I just can't justify it. So some years I skip it.
That's another game that I play nonstop. NHL. I don't really do the Madden or basketball, but NHL's always been a favorite of mine, and this year's was like just I can't even describe the level of disappointment people had on. I mean, I'm sure anybody listening would know, but they'd like left out a ton of features just to rush out the next gen version, and it was like a disaster. Now, finally, after like months and months after it released, they're starting to like update things with patches and put stuff back into the game. And honestly, overall, it's a fun game. I enjoy it, but there are some little frustrating things about it. And just not to go too much into it, I want to go back to Call of Duty for a second because it's just in my mind. And we're gonna actually review Call of Duty, so I don't want to go too crazy. But the single player, for me, is substanceless in most cases. I did enjoy the Call of Duty, the Modern Warfare series of single player campaigns. I thought they were pretty cool. Because they were, I say this loosely, grounded in reality. We could relate to the technology and whatever they were talking about with the Middle East and all that stuff. So those were okay for me. But any of them after that, I didn't play the Ghosts one. I didn't play the Black Ops one. I just played the one for Advanced Warfare. And yes, I thought it was pretty decent, but I don't think it really has that much substance to it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for it. I haven't really played them lately.
Well, we'll go into that a little bit more when we do the review for it. Yeah, I don't know. For me, with Call of Duty, I don't think, honestly, I mean, maybe there's a handful of people, but I don't think anybody's going out and buying Call of Duty for the single player, to be honest with you. I think it's all for the competitive aspect of it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And for me personally, that the way, like, there's certain problems with the game that we'll touch on, with the review, but technically speaking, the game, there's certain performance issues that I have with it that you get me frustrated. It's like, okay, so you got to spend a lot of money to get Kevin Spacey to do voice for the game, right? So instead of having that guy do single player, why don't you take that money and put it into dedicated servers for the game? Something that Ghosts had, something that Battlefield has been using forever. Well, Call of Duty is one of the bigger games out there. I think it should do it. And what you're saying with AAA games, I think the problem is that these big giant industry people like EA and Activision, and I don't think they care really about the product that they put out. That's just my opinion, flat out.
I mean, the problem with that is going to be also, aside from there just being like these AAA title games, I mean, they got to answer to their shareholders, right? So the companies are now run as businesses, and it's more about generating sales than it is for the love of making games. I mean, so on that aspect, I mean, games like Minecraft that have come out of nowhere, and a whole crap ton of other games that we haven't given their due yet, that haven't been discovered even.
I think Minecraft changed the gaming industry.
I think Minecraft, in addition with several other games, have. I mean, obviously,
Minecraft is a phenomenon.
Well, yeah,
dude.
Minecraft's the biggest one that can come to.
I remember sitting in your bedroom and you showing me a magazine article or something. I think it was in what was it, Game Informer or something.
Probably, yeah.
And you were just like, yo, this game looks really good. And I was like, nah, graphics look bad. And you're like, no, I'm telling you, this game's going to be good. And even when it came out and you showed it to me, I wasn't really on board with it.
Yeah, I remember the first 2-3 days, everybody was kind of like, yo, you got to be kidding me, dude. I don't got time for this.
Yeah. That's like a phenomenon. That game is just like, it's like a phenom. It's unbelievable, the success that it's had, the popularity that it has. People make money playing Minecraft. That's astonishing.
Well, I mean, yeah, same thing. It kind of can be contributed to the same reason why YouTube took off and became the success that it did, is because it allowed for a community to just take part and become something. So I mean, definitely Minecraft changed the game. It obviously is a huge brand in itself right now, and it's popular among all ages. I mean, it's clearly why Microsoft overpaid, in my opinion. 1 point something billion dollars, however much I forgot what it was.
That's billion with a B.
Yes. Yeah. So,
I mean, they're obviously paying for future prospects of the game and what else it's going to have. I mean, you think about the merchandising, clothing and toys and stuff, but they could do. I mean, if they wanted to, I'm sure they could do like a show, like an animated thing or something like that. But I personally wouldn't want to see anything like that. But that game has just kept evolving, and it's been awesome to see it actually happen. And it was really cool to be part of it initially. I don't know how many people that actually play the game jumped on board with it as quick as you and I did, because we've been playing it since when it first was released, pretty much, right?
Yeah. I mean, the game was out for some time, but I could probably look back to some of my save files. I think it was like the early, um, what's I forget. I always forget what comes first, alpha or beta.
Alpha.
Yeah, so it was definitely like the early alpha phases of the game.
So like it was cool. We were part of like the whole process. We saw every new feature get added into it.
Yeah,
It's been
yeah, yeah,
crazy.
and that's a big thing too. Is like now you see all these games too on Steam that are coming out on the same platform, and I think Steam and the guys over there have done such a great job of supporting the community and coming out with games and having the whole greenlit games and all that. That it's easy to make a game now, and well, I shouldn't say easy because we'd all be doing it right instead of playing them, but
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, it's easy to at least market your game and get some sort of recognition. And if you can just get something out onto the web and it's good, it's probably going to pick up. And I think that's where, going back to what we were talking about earlier with Oculus Rift, I think that's where we got a lot of uncharted territory with gaming and just seeing this next phase of what's going to be possible.
I hope so. I think that'd be awesome. Imagine playing Minecraft through the Oculus and you're just like physically mining things.
Yeah, I think it'd be great, dude. I mean, what was that movie that came out with who was it? Bruce Willis. I think he was in it. I can't remember the name of that movie, man.
Recently?
No, this was like a few years ago where he like sat in that chair and then he like yeah, the
Oh.
movie kind of sucked, but it was such a great concept of what I think is potentially doable in the future.
Yeah. I gotta look that up because it's gonna bother me. It's like on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, like you're just kind of gonna sit in your house and be this thing or do this thing that you obviously can't do in your current situation, but you can like step in some sort of machine and take yourself to a faraway place. I mean, who doesn't want that? I mean, that's kind of much for the reason that I got into gaming to begin with, right? It was an escape.
Yeah. Well, I love video games because like not only the escape part, but like you could like well games now anyway, and not all of them, but most of them, most of the better games anyway, are starting to become surrogates. But is the name of the movie, by the
Oh
way.
yeah, you're right. There it is.
But you're kind of part of they're almost like a movie, so you have this like story that you're a part of and you're making decisions. It's actually awesome because when you watch a movie you're obviously just watching what's happening, but when you play a game, same thing, except you have like a stake in the outcome. You sort of part of the outcome, which is really a cool way to interact with a story, basically. And certain games do it better than others. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't like we were mentioning like the AAA games, like the real big releases. Honestly, those for me are less and less impressed the more they come out because they just don't. They have no soul. They have no substance. It's almost like they're just payoffs for the big companies that put them out. I would use Assassin's Creed as an example of that. I mean, Call of Duty's far and gone, but Assassin's Creed was a game that started out like really awesome. It had like a great direction. The first one like got mixed reviews. I guess I know you really didn't enjoy it that much. I really liked it, even though it was sort of repetitive. But
Well, I mean, the first Assassin's Creed. I mean, let's cut it to what it was. It was a big tech demo for like what was going to come out, 4 or 5 years down the road, kind of like what we had right now. I mean,
right,
if the first Assassin's Creed, with all the hype that it got and what they said the game was going to be able to do, if that first game was the games that are out today, or even the last 2 or 3 games, then yeah, my fucking socks would be blown off. But that game was just a tech demo. That's all it was.
I still enjoyed it though. And then even though as a standalone maybe it wasn't as great, the three that followed it, the Ezio series or the saga, I'll call it, kind of reeled the first one in and really made it, I guess, matter. Made it a lot better than it was on its own. Sort of like The Matrix. You can't really judge The Matrix on one movie individually. You have to see it as like a whole.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. But again, we're talking about going out there and asking again to spend your hard-earned money and
Yeah, no, definitely for sure.
you know,
But well, anyway, my original point was that Assassin's Creed now they put out like 4 or 5, like 5 of them a year it seems like, and each one is just exactly the same. I mean, here and there you get sort of maybe little small, uh, you know, performance things and like gameplay elements that change a little bit, but for the most part it's the same game. Now you think back to when Assassin's Creed first came out and they're talking about that it's going to be a trilogy. So what happens to the trilogy, guys? Like, you expect me to keep paying for the same game over and over again? I personally have boycotted Assassin's Creed. I won't buy it anymore.
Well, I haven't played the game since Assassin's Creed 2, so
I was excited for Assassin's Creed 3,
yeah.
the one that was with the Indian guy, Connor. And I played that game.
It's in colonial America, right?
Yeah, like halfway through it, I just got completely bored with it because like the colonial environment just does not play well with the mechanics of the game, like parkour and jumping around and everything like that. It just wasn't cool. But so I didn't even beat that game, and then I tried when PS4 first came out because there was only like 3 games you could get for PS4 at the time. I got Assassin's Creed, the Caribbean one. I forget what it was called, the pirate one, which I played maybe 20 minutes of, and I never played it again. So that's where I'm at with Assassin's Creed. So I won't be playing those anymore.
Yeah.
But I did go out like a beaten wife, and I picked up Call of Duty. So
yeah, I mean you'll just keep going back to that. That'll be your. I mean,
because it's like crack for me. I love them, but they're just so disappointing every year. I can't take it.
Well, that's the thing for me, man. I think gaming in general is like visual crack. So I just can't get myself to stop buying games and then not playing them. I mean, where do you find?
Yeah, you're really bad with that though. You still haven't even beaten like GTA 4.
Dude, I mean, I'm looking at my collection of games right now. I finally finished unpacking since I just moved down here, and
You've never even beaten Red Dead. That's like crazy.
I mean, dude, there's so many games that I have that between all the consoles I own and PC itself. I mean,
you know what would be good for you if you got like hit by a car.
But, it's funny.
But like you didn't die.
Right, I've actually thought about that. If I just got
you would just like you just like lay it up for like a few months and you just get to do nothing but play video games and watch movies.
Well, I mean, how about we don't break any bones? So maybe if I just got some odd disease that came out of nowhere that just let me just chill for like a few years, that would.
No, that'd be worse. Why would you want a disease?
All right, not a disease. How about a sickness?
That's even worse. No.
How about,
you break bones, they heal, you're fine.
All right, yeah, but then you can't go outside and play.
you wouldn't be going outside anyway. Why would you go outside with a fucking disease? You could spread it around.
No, we won't be doing that.
You know what's funny about that? For some reason, mumps is like running rampant through the NHL.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
we should get a hold on that.
Like what is mumps? Like I remember hearing about it when I was like a kid, and like your face swells up or something. But like, how is that even like a thing that's like still happening?
I don't know.
It's weird. But
I don't know. But going back to that, so I mean, and just to segue into our next little bit of conversation here. I mean, even the games that I download, I don't freaking finish playing. So
yeah, that's a problem.
I mean, that is a problem, and I don't think I'm alone in this. I mean, again, I know you play a smaller majority of games in terms of genres and everything, so you're kind of a little more picky into what you choose to pick up. But
well, for that reason, because I know myself, like I'll even not Call of Duty, even Assassin's Creed, like I buy them, I'll play it, and then I get bored of it, and then maybe I'll pick it up like a year later, like the last one that had Ezio in it, Assassin's Creed, was it Brotherhood or Revelations? Whichever one it was. I think it was Revelations. I played like an hour of it, and I didn't touch it for like a year. And then I played it and beat it. So I don't want that anymore. I want to play a game, enjoy it, and then get rid of it, or keep it forever.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, for me, there's just so many games, dude. I just love gaming that much. If I could have it my way, I would just sit on the couch, never leave the house, and just play games for a good portion of the week. I got no problem with that. But I just find it as I get older and older, the games, and sometimes the problem is that the games just suck. They're just not as good as they were back in the day.
Well, yeah, that's
and the attention span that you need now to play some of these games. I mean, some of these damn games. Like, here you go, Skyrim, the new Dragon Age that just came out. I mean, these games are huge. They take up so much of your time.
Well, the one I've been playing recently, and I haven't played it. I got close to beating it, and I stopped playing it. What was that? The Evil Within. So that game, had kind of, I guess, big hype because it was the dude, I forget his name, the dude who made Resident Evil.
Right.
He made it, and so I was excited to play it. I like horror games. But honestly, that game's like a big disappointment. And I know I'm very critical. I hate everything. Anybody who knows me knows that. So, uh, but that game was just for me, like, mechanics were just way, way out of date and antiquated. The graphics didn't impress me at all for a next gen console. So the whole time I'm playing the game, like the story is just like out of like just nowhere. Like it's crazy, makes no sense. I don't care about it whatsoever. None of the characters appeal to me. I have no emotional ties to it at all. So I'm sitting there playing the game. I'm grinding through it just to try to beat it, to say I beat it, and it's like, I can't be playing games like that anymore. And then you play games like The Last of Us, which I know you're currently going through for the first time, which is insane to me.
Right.
But
well, I didn't have a PS4 or PS3.
I know, and I always would. But that game is like phenomenal. That game like blew me away, and it's like cinematic scope and quality.
And that's the thing. I mean, there's games I play that and I think the most recent one would be Dark Souls, that I got a bunch of my friends into it as it came out, and we all played it, and I think it was great, and I just couldn't let go of it and had to play it. I mean, did I take a couple breaks in between finishing it? Yeah, but I definitely did finish it, and that's the thing, is that I don't want to continue buying games and then feeling compelled because of the fact that I've now purchased them, or even when I don't purchase them and download them, and then I feel like I have a collection and I just got to collect them all, and it just becomes this little bit of addiction where I just got to get my hands on every game that comes out that I think is going to be good. That feeling of just, I just got to finish it. It now becomes work. And I'm just tired of feeling that like the games I'm playing are more work than they are what I actually want to enjoy. So I think through doing this podcast too, I'm going to take the time and kind of challenge myself to just play games at my pace, but play them to completion and enjoy them for what they are. And what they are is, I think, a great piece of entertainment.
Well, yeah, one of the good things about doing this stuff, I mean, with the reviews we're going to do, I mean, for anybody that doesn't know, like I said, I introduced it a little bit with the Minecraft video. We're not just trying to do the podcast. Podcast we might do like once a week where we just talk about nonsense, whatever. But then we want to start doing like, we want to do reviews of, maybe some of the more, I'd say, games with a bigger spotlight on them, maybe some others, just to do some reviews of those, and if we get requests to review a game, maybe we'll try to squeeze that in. But yeah, no, this definitely presents a good opportunity for you maybe finish things that you otherwise would just kind of put aside, and for me, might give me a broader scope of genres that I wouldn't normally play, just for the sake of reviewing them, which might open me up to some new things that I might like.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of cool.
I think that's a great idea.
But why don't we take a little bit of a break and we'll be back in a couple minutes.
All right, sounds good.
I need a drink real bad.
Did you pause?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, we definitely should.
All right, everybody, welcome back. So,
hello again.
Yeah. Yeah, before we get going again, I was saying that I happened to watch like 40 seconds of the ending of Sons of Anarchy, which I know is like huge, and everybody's been trying to get me to watch it.
Let's not give any spoilers away, though.
No, but it just looks like the worst show ever. So any small chance that there was that I would have watched it is completely over now, because I saw the last 40 seconds, and not that it was ruined for me, but because it looked so cheesy and so poorly done, I couldn't even believe my eyes.
Yeah.
It was really
I kind of thought the same thing as I was watching it with my girlfriend. She thoroughly enjoyed the show. We were supposed to watch it together, and then she just took off watching it and never caught up. And I watched bits and pieces of the show over a few seasons. It was okay, but I think it was mostly for the chicks, man, that show. I don't think that many guys were that into it. But if they were, no offense to anybody, if they liked it, good for you.
It was the blonde-haired guy that did it for me.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, there were some cool scenes in the show and some badass moments, but the ending was kind of hilarious.
Me and Neil were just like, I happened to be flipping through the channels and like it was on, and I was like, wait a second, is this the ending? And the scope of what was happening, I was like, yeah, this has to be like the finale.
But I also think you're kind of a douche for providing some comments in the fact that there was some context to that scene
I'm sure there was, but
we don't know anything about. So I mean,
that's fine. It wasn't the scene itself; it was the way it was executed.
Yeah, I agree.
It was just really cheesy. The music was cheesy.
Everything was.
It wasn't good.
Well, that's the thing. That whole show became kind of cheesy, man. It was all for the ladies.
I just wasn't into it. But let's get back on.
So let's get back. So I am super pleased to have just found out that the Pirate Bay has been somewhat resurrected.
It was taken down. I was really upset when that happened. I read that.
Yeah, I was too. I mean, Pirate Bay, I've been using that since, I think, what was the other major torrent thing that
I know there's always been BitTorrent.
No, yeah, I mean BitTorrent's like the software and stuff, but there was some website that was big before this, but who knows now? They're all gone, right? So Pirate Bay's been leading the way for years. And unfortunately, they got raided and shut down, and it looks like it might be legit for this time. But I think even they might come back at some point. Who knows? Somebody new is going to resurrect something, because the spirit of just being able to download stuff is just never going to die, even since Napster days.
I mean, it's not cool to be a pirate, but I'm like a big pirate.
I would disagree. I love pirates, man. I think if I lived in that time period, I'd probably be a pirate too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Stealing gold and stuff.
Yeah. But
riches beyond our wildest dreams.
But I think you informed me that you cannot upload to this version of Pirate Bay. And just to let you guys all know, I'm tempted to release the name of it, but then I feel like it's going to just get shut down quicker. But probably not, because we don't have that many people listening.
I feel like everybody knows about it. I think it redirects you to it.
I don't think so. No, it's still just down. The other one is still down. But if anybody wants to know, it's oldpiratebay.org.
Yeah. Well, I was reading about it. I guess because the torrent files are so small, people just like completely downloaded the entire web contents of the website, like everything that was on there.
Well, yeah, it's the guys from ISOHunt. Looks like they just saved all the files.
Yeah, so Old Pirate Bay is basically everything they had right before the raid.
But I mean, don't you think that kind of sounds a little bit conspicuous that these guys or somebody knew that this was going to go down? Because how the hell did they just save all the files miraculously before they got raided?
They probably just had a backup, or people just did it. I don't know. There's people that probably just download just for the hell of downloading.
I smell conspiracy theory somewhere. I think something's going on.
Maybe ISIS was involved.
I don't know, but maybe Anonymous is gonna like take out that police raid group or something.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do something.
They'll probably do something.
They're like the carpenters of civilization. Those guys.
Yeah.
They mold and form society to their will, and we don't even know it.
So what else we got for today?
Well, I was just looking over just a list of some games that were coming out soon that I'm pretty excited about. We were talking about games that have been out for years and currently, but we didn't really mention any games that are coming out. So I think for me, I think the top of my list would probably have to be.
This better be good.
Yeah, I think it's The Division, to be honest. But that's not coming out for a long time. I don't even think there's a release date on it yet.
Well, yeah.
It just says to be announced 2015. So I guess let me scrap that for now because we don't even know when it's coming out. I'm pretty excited about Arkham Knight. That game's going to be pretty good. Yes.
I was gonna say, and I know a lot of people will agree, Witcher 3 for sure is gonna be enormous. And
I was never really into that.
The game got pushed back twice already. I think it's coming out not in the winter now. It's coming out in April.
I don't even understand why companies even give a release date if they can't stick to it initially. It makes no sense.
Well, these guys are pretty good. They've always, even since the first game, have always apologized for any glitches in the game and have provided huge updates to the tune that they would even rename the game and re-release it as an enhanced edition. And
Are they like a big company? Whoever makes that
no,
game?
no, they're small. They're and I
See,
don't remember exactly where they're from, but they're somewhere from Eastern Europe, and they're a small team, and they do a great job of making the game. And this is the biggest game in their company's career, so they said they wanted to take the time to make sure that it was polished completely. I mean, it's gonna probably beat Skyrim as the probably one of the best RPGs of all time. I think that's how big this game and how much stuff it has riding on it. So that's what I'm pumped up for right now. There are a couple other games, like again,
well,
Dragon Age Inquisition is out right now, so I'm waiting to check that out and see how that is. But
I'm also very excited for the that game Dying Light.
yeah,
That comes
I
out
saw some
next.
gameplay footage for that. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that looks great. That's set to come out next month, I think, on the 27th, and then not too long after that, we have that game Evolve coming out, which I'm pretty interested to play too. That seems like it could be fun. That's really all I'm looking for now. Is
Well,
like just games that I can have fun with.
what about your beloved Metal Gear series?
Oh, ooh, we need a whole show dedicated to Metal Gear.
Yeah, I'm sure we.
Metal Gear. There was no official release date, but at the Game Awards, Kojima, in his typical fashion that he likes to mess with fans, he was wearing a shirt that had some like Swedish writing on it. Now, anybody that's been following the evolution of the new Metal Gear, before the game was actually announced, he showed a trailer under the guise of some like random game from a third-party Swedish company, and then it was revealed that it was Metal Gear and it was him. So now the Swedish shirt, some psychopath translated it, and it says, "Well, yeah, those are the only people that are going to notice this type of thing."
He's a poor psychopath.
Yeah. So it says, the shirt apparently says, like the first phrase says something like the sixth or something like that, or six, and then like 25. The point being is that I don't remember what it said exactly, but the point being is that so now everybody thinks that his shirt secretly said in Swedish that the game is coming out like June of 2015. So that'd be great.
Yeah. I mean,
because that game looks crazy.
I'll definitely.
You didn't play the uh, the first one, right? Yet
What do you,
the one
the one
that just came out.
No, I mean I just checked it out at your house when you were playing it.
Oh, I did show it to you.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, I just not like that's again. It's just one of those games where I gotta invest so much time, and it is a great game, and I definitely want to play it. But there's just so many other games ahead of on the priority list for me. Right.
No, I understand that. It's not for everybody. There's definitely a huge, rich.
Yeah, I mean, you're invested into the lore. I mean, you're come fully into it. I mean, that's kind of how I am with The Witcher right now. And there's a good example too. I still got to beat Witcher 2, so I mean, that's a game I'm gonna try to play. I'm actually happy that they pushed the game back because now I have some time to finish The Witcher 2.
You might actually never beat it though.
No, I will. I mean, I went back to The Witcher 1 after like 4 years of having it, and then beating it, which is enjoyable. So I gotta say that for anyone that's out there that doesn't think that they can go back to some old school games because they won't like the graphics or whatever, I think if you can get behind the game and the lore and just be excited for that, whatever the IP is, I think you can do it. So,
well, from what we were talking about earlier, I think like the AAA games, the ones that are just not really impressive anymore, the ones that seem to disappoint, I think those are slowly becoming things of the past where you have third-party companies like, I guess, whoever's making The Witcher or the company making Evolve and Dying Light. These games that have way better quality and they're way more enjoyable are going to start to overtake and overshadow the bigger giants of the industry.
Well, is Dying Light a small?
Could be. I don't know. Maybe I'm lying.
I don't know either. It looks like they got some.
Looks
like they got some high polish behind that.
I mean, the game looks great. I don't know who's making it. Let me take a look here. Let's see.
Its developer is Techland, and it's published by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. I have no idea who Techland is.
Yeah. You know what's actually funny? I was just thinking about it too. We were talking about
they made Call of Juarez and Dead Island.
Juarez. You put a real European spin on that right there.
I mean, that's the way you pronounce it, but
I know.
Yeah, they made Dead Island and Riptide. So I mean, there you go. Dead Island was a
Oh, they made Riptide?
yeah, and Dead Island. So I mean, those were good games.
Oh, it's the same company that made Dead Island?
Yeah,
Like exactly the same company?
I mean that's what it says, Techland.
Oh, well, because this looks like a better version of Dead
And then they
Island.
got a bunch of other bullshit games that I've never heard of. And
Did I ever tell you how I broke Dead Island?
yeah, you did. You
Yeah,
did.
it was hilarious that I was duping so much that the game just completely broke.
And
I couldn't even load up a new world. Just I couldn't get past the loading screen. The start
they
screen.
have some game upcoming too called Hell Raid. That's coming out on PS4 and Windows and Xbox One. I have no idea.
You just raid hell.
I don't know.
Well,
The
you know,
game is described as a mix of the best aspects of Dead Island and the Elder Scrolls, and
Oh.
is a spiritual successor to the 1990s games such as Hexen and Witchhaven.
well, look at
I
that.
don't know.
You know what's interesting? Actually, we were talking about games with big delays. I remembered that, and recently there's been some news on it. That game, The Last Guardian from Team Eco.
Oh yeah, they just got reannounced, right? That it's coming
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
I'm very excited about that. That was supposed to be like a launch title for PS3.
yeah.
Well, not a launch title. It was supposed to, but it was like a big PS3 thing, and I don't know why it got delayed so much. But I'm pretty excited for that. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'm also, I'm pretty excited for games like Evolve and Dying Light because I just want to have fun playing games. I play Call of Duty and I just get just irate, and NHL I just same thing. I just can't take it. And if I could just have a game that's multiplayer where I could just play with my friends and have fun and not get frustrated, I'm very happy. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I just can't get my hopes up because that's when things go bad constantly. Interesting thing I was just thinking of though when I said that these third party companies will take over the AAA companies. What if, right? These third party developers that are blowing us away with their games become the top tier game companies, but then they start doing the same crap and so start making big.
I mean, I think that's where we're at, though.
Then what do we do?
No, I mean, I don't know if that's really gonna happen. You know, I mean, you wonder, right? I mean, are all these guys gonna be as the way that let's say like Minecraft went, where they sold out to Microsoft and he stepped away because the company just became too big and the game.
I don't think they sold.
Well, I mean the game. Well, I mean there's some. I think there's some dispute about that, or discussion at least. But I mean, whether you consider it as a sellout in terms of as a negative connotation, I mean the game. Let's be honest, the game became too big for what the guys were doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think they took it to the point where they could go no further with it. But no, they're still developing it, aren't they? I think they're just developing it.
Yeah, Microsoft purchased Mojang, so they
Mojang. I think the developers are still working on it. Not Notch, but like Jeff
Notch stepped away. But that's what I mean, though, is that how many of those guys that make it huge are going to just say, okay, I did this one game, or I did these 2-3 games. I made a shit ton of money, and now I'm just going to go quietly into the sunset and be a normal human being again. I mean, these companies are getting massive, and they're getting corporations, and they're in the stock markets. So, you look at like Activision and Blizzard. I mean, I was devastated when Blizzard joined forces with Activision.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Activision's like a terrible company.
And the reason was that they figured it was just a great business move. But I mean, has it been? I mean, Diablo 3 for me, and I think for a ton of other people, was such a letdown. Such a letdown to the point that my confidence in Blizzard's games is a little shaken, to be honest with you.
Was it a letdown? Because I mean, I know it came out for PS4, and some of my buddies, they play it like religiously.
Well, here's the thing: it was a letdown initially. So the game struggled a lot when it came out on PC. They had a lot of first day problems with the massive amounts of people playing. I was one of those guys that was up all night long and didn't play until like 6 hours later. And then played all morning and afternoon, and then took a nap and then played again. And we blew through the game. And I mean, the game was fun, but it was a grind, and it just wasn't your traditional Diablo the way that everybody expected with and the polish that the game had. And I mean, I think it's like about a year and a half, if not more, later now. However, maybe even longer than that since the game came out. And yeah, they've made a lot of updates, and they came out with the expansion. And the PS4 has a new version of the game with the expansion that's not available at the PC that adds some fun twists. So the game obviously corrected itself. I mean, the auction house was a disaster of a decision that you could just buy. And again, I think that is right there a perfect example of how partnering up with a company like Activision changed Blizzard's game-making tactics and development strategies. And, I mean, the only reason to make the auction house is to make money.
Oh yeah, of course, and that's Activision's number one goal.
Right.
That's why Call of Duty pisses me off so much. Activision doesn't care about the game and the product that they're putting out. They just know that every year they're going to make tons and tons of money, and that's all they care about.
Right. Exactly. So I mean, I think until they change their strategy, I mean, again, Blizzard was a company that for years anything they came out with was gold. I mean, games sold so much, there was no problems. Their fan base is as crazy as you can get and devoted as you can get it. I think as closely to, let's say, probably the guys over that are still waiting for Half-Life 3 from Valve to come out. I mean, that's a game that if it ever came out,
you're one of those guys.
I am. I am patiently waiting for Half-Life 3, and I think we're all fooling ourselves if we think it's going to come out anytime soon.
I just read something that
there's so many rumors on the web that talk about it, but I mean, the cliffhangers that that Valve has left us with is just terrible.
Have they said why they haven't?
I don't know. A lot of people. There were some rumors on the web. People talking about how when they were going to come out with these Steam machines, that they were going to go exclusive to just Steam machine, and that would be a great selling point. But Gabe Newell, the guy from. I think that's how you say his name. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but the guy from Valve.
I forgive you.
Thank you. He said that that they would not, if they did come out with Half-Life 3, that they are committed to not having it be a Steam machine exclusive or a Steam exclusive title.
I bet you it wouldn't even be PC exclusive. I bet you'd come out for all consoles.
Well, that's what they said, all consoles. And to me, that seems like, while that's great in spirit, I think that's the wrong move, to be honest with you. But I'm not really a fan of people having to buy into certain ecosystems in terms of computers and platforms and whatever, and just having to be locked into them. But I mean, Steam is such a great platform that why not make it an exclusive to Steam to push the envelope even farther with what that offers?
Yeah, but I mean, you are seeing more and more of Steam games coming to console, like what was that one game I played? Outlast. That was like a cool game on Steam that we were playing, and then it came out for PS4.
Yeah, and that's fine as long as the quality of the game doesn't get fucking raped when it
I know, but
ported,
I don't think it does though. Maybe if you go to like 360, that's something different, but PS4, I don't think so. Like The Forest, that game that we've been looking at, that game's coming to PS4 now too, and I'm pretty excited for that. That game has a lot of fun potential, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I think it does, especially with the new updates that you showed me. But I mean, so that's that's a great example of just like these companies that partner up, man, and what's going on, and that shit just pisses me off. I mean, they canceled their big project, Blizzard. What was that Project Titan that they were going to come out with? And they canceled it after how many years of development, and now supposedly they're making a brand new game. So let's see what that's going to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess they're a pretty reputable company, Blizzard. I mean, I know everybody was disappointed with Diablo, but I think they have a proven track record.
I mean, they do. I mean, look at them. They got the one of the best, if not the best, RPGs in terms of like strategy RPGs like that aren't like a hack and slash, point and click, I should say. They got the best one out ever in the Diablo series, and then they have the best RTS game in StarCraft, and then you got World of Warcraft, which is another phenomenon in MMO, and I think still reigns king.
I think some people would beg to differ with you about the best RTS.
Okay. What do you?
And not me personally, because I don't play those games. I just know I'm just.
What's
I know.
what's the beg the differ? The Age of Empires?
No, well, if you look at like Twitch, one of the biggest things that people play on there is what's the game that George plays all the
Oh
time?
yeah, but those aren't really RTS games. Those are a spin off. If
What is that game called again, though?
yeah, I know you're talking. You're talking about what are they called, man? You know what I'm talking. They're MOBAs. That's what they're called. That's like the genre.
I can't think of the name of the game.
Yeah.
To me, it's stupid. I have no interest in it.
No,
whatsoever.
there's a huge fan base. You might have to start playing those games. Yeah, I think you will.
People stream that game constantly.
Yeah, so what's it
It's like
called?
that's like the only thing that goes on Twitch. I don't know. I forget. Let me see.
You know what it is. I can't remember for the life.
I know what it is, but I can't think of what it is right now.
Dota.
No.
Yeah, Dota and the other one, League of Legends.
League of Legends. There it is.
Yeah, but those all the same shit though. Dota and League of Legends. But those
And then you have that other game out right now, Hearthstone. That's supposed to be.
no, Hearthstone's a card game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's kind of like Magic the Gathering.
Oh well, that shows how much I know.
Yeah, it's like that. But I mean, Dota and League of Legends, those games are like they are like rip.
Oh, there's also Smite too.
Yeah, Smite.
Yep.
I don't think I could ever play a game called Smite, but I've heard good things about it. But those games all come from a custom map made on PC from I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos, or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of what's coming to PS4, I also heard that DayZ is coming to PS4. I'm kind of excited about that. That was a game that for us never really took off because we tried to play it once. The controls were like just so poor.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I've watched YouTube videos. That game has a lot of cool potential. Like it's very I guess survival based. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do, and it's pretty interesting. So that I think will be pretty good.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I don't know. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming down the pike as far as newer type of games that I'm interested in, like I said, Evolve and things like that. I'm kind of tired of the zombie genre, so hopefully Dying Light isn't like. Hopefully it does something enough to pique my interest, but other than that, I'm just stuck playing Call of Duty for now, sadly.
Well, I'll be. I just picked up Shadows of Mordor on Black Friday, so I'll definitely be looking at that game.
Yeah, well, you should review it.
Yeah, I think I will. I'm a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings and that world. So,
are you gonna go see the new movie next week?
I am. Yeah, I am.
I didn't even see the second one.
And I think I'm gonna see it at the same theater that I saw Interstellar at. So,
is it close to you?
It's like about a half an hour, 40 minutes.
Does it have IMAX?
Yeah, it's like the big IMAX 70mm film, like the.
Oh, so that's pretty good.
Full out, yeah. It's actually in a museum.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the Science and Discovery Museum.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Did you go to it?
Yeah, I did, yeah. And then we actually went to the museum after because we had free.
That's what I mean. Did you go to the museum?
Yeah, we had like free access to the museum, so it was pretty sick.
Was it a nice museum?
Yeah, it was more for kids, but it was all right.
I can't imagine it's as big as natural history. Right?
No, nothing like that.
No, that was a good trip last year. I want to go again.
Yeah, we could. I mean, maybe my next visit to New York.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we could wrap it up here. I think we had a good first show. And again, we're gonna try to bring these on board once a week, if we can, along with some reviews and things like that. So, for anybody listening, thanks for listening. If you liked what you heard, subscribe to us on YouTube. Look out for us on Facebook and Twitter. I know, Elias, you're going to get on that, right?
Yeah, we're going to come out a lot more content, and we're going to put more effort into what we got going on. I mean, this is just the beginning, so bear with us in our noob adventures into podcasting.
Yeah.
But I think we'll do it justice once we get the groove.
I think the groove is on.
It might be. It just might be.
Yeah. All right. everybody. You have a good one.
All right, good night.